The country's third largest railroad union has refused to sign a contract with their employers, sparking concerns of a freight railroad strike before the midterms and before the holidays. The union released a statement saying, quote, "Railroaders do not feel valued. They resent the fact that management holds no regard for their quality of life, illustrated by their stubborn reluctance to provide a higher quality of paid time off, especially for sickness." South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace sits on the House Transportation Committee and joins us right now. She's sitting in South Carolina. Congresswoman, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You know, very famously, a couple of weeks ago, the White House made a big deal out of the fact that Joe Biden went into the room himself and he talked to both sides and he said, "We got to get together." And then they came out and said, "Okay, we've got to win." Doesn't look like a win anymore.
No, and it seems like everything that Biden and his administration touches just completely falls apart and ends up in disaster like this one. This is not something we need right now. Biden has spent his entire career riding the Amtrak train from Delaware to D.C., and now he cannot keep the trains running on time. And we're talking about an industry that 40% of all of our long-haul trade, goods and services are done by rail. It is $2 billion a day economic impact to this country. And when you have inflation, when you have a supply chain issues, you know, these folks, 24% pay raise, retroactive pay raise was not good enough. I think all of America would love a 24% pay raise. It's crazy that they got such a sweetheart deal and it's not good enough.
Well, part of the sweetheart deal, Congresswoman, is actually, I don't think the final ratification is until after the midterms. So ultimately, there could be a supply chain crisis with this freight rail strike, and it's not going to impact the Democrats.
Right, and if this strike happens, make no doubt, there will be a huge problem with the supply chain. We're still recovering from COVID-19. We still have supply chain issues. And I'll tell you, as you mentioned, I sit on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee. We haven't had a single hearing about these issues, particularly on the supply chain, on the rail side. You know, we look at what their demands are, and they already have a great salary, great pay raise. And that sort of thing. Last year, when we were giving pay raises to our military, they got a 3% raise. These are men and women in uniform willing to take a bullet for our country. And these guys and gals are asking for 24% at their rail stations, and it's just not good enough. And it will send the economy, you know, the supply chain issues are going to impact the economy in a very negative way. And if you're looking at 6 to 9 months out of possible recession, this could guarantee that.
No kidding. The White House put out a statement and they said, quote, "The union in question and the railroad employers have agreed to a cooling off period that extends well into November, giving them adequate time to continue their work and ensuring that our economy is under no immediate threat." What that really means is the midterms aren't under an immediate threat because the cooling off period ends in the middle of the month of November.
Of course they are. And is anyone surprised? They've just been playing games like this the entire year. And that's why Republicans are going to win in November. And I can see that in my district. It's a bellwether for the rest of the country. It's a very purple district. And I can see that Republicans are gaining steam right now, right when we need it, heading into the midterms.
All right. A month from today, we'll know. It'll be after Election Day. Nancy Mace, thank you very much for joining us live today from South Carolina.
Thank you, Steve.
You bet.